Next on WoodSongs, we're celebrating the banjo with 11-year-old Victor Furtado and one of the most award-winning and respected banjo players on the planet, Noam Pikelny.
The television broadcast of the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour is made possible in part by Kentucky Proud and the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, supporting Kentucky-grown farm products used worldwide and in your hometown. Acoustic Rainbow, introducing songs from independent artists and small labels to over 1,200 acoustic format radio stations worldwide. Online at acousticrainbow.com. Support is also provided by viewers like you. Information on how to become a WoodSongs partner and support the growth of grassroots music is online at woodsongs.com. And by Insight Communications, providers of cable, high-definition television and broadband internet service.
Here on the Louisiana Hayride, his name is Hank Williams, the drifting cowboy.
On the Grand Ole Opry, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys.
Hi, this is Bruce Horns.
Hi, this is Kevin Moore.
Hey folks, this is Bela Fleck.
Hi folks, this is Sam Bush.
Hello, this is Odetta.
This is Joan Baez, and you're listening to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And now, gather the family around and sit back in your easy chair. It's time again for the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour, our worldwide celebration of grassroots music. Let's welcome folk singer, author, and tree hugger, Michael Jonathan.
Thank you. We were in the recording studio working on songs for the Front Porch album. We just finished a beautiful classical piece, folk version of something called Pachelbel's Canon, a beautiful classical piece of music. And then we started working on this banjo piece, and we didn't have a title for it. And since Pachelbel's Canon was fresh in our mind, we titled this Taco Bell's Pea Shooter. Welcome to the historic Kentucky Theater. Here we are in our hometown of Lexington, Kentucky. Crossroads, America's folk and bluegrass music, the gateway city to the magnificent Appalachian Mountains, where so much music and art and passion and great families that play music together come from. Artists come from all over the world to be on our stage, where we celebrate this world of grassroots music. It's like this magnificent, passionate, beautiful diamond of so many different facets. It's folk and blues and bluegrass, country, Celtic, old-timey, new singer-songwriters. We celebrate it all on this stage, and artists come from everywhere to be part of the WoodSongs broadcast. You don't have to be famous to be on WoodSongs. You just have to be very, very good. And we have two artists on our broadcast tonight. The first one, of course, is extremely good, so much so that he's recognized one of the finest banjo players on planet Earth. As a matter of fact, he's the winner of the very first Steve Martin Prize for Excellence in Banjo and Bluegrass, the very first one in history to win this. He's also the dynamic banjo player for the Punch Brothers. He's going to start off with a song because he's got an album all of his own called Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail. The song is called Jim Thompson's Horse. Please welcome Noam Pikelny to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. from his brand new CD. It's called Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail. Let's say hi to Noam Pikelny. Noam, it's great to have you here on the show.
Thanks for having me back.
Kidding, it's an honor. Now, you are here with fellow Punch Brothers. We've got Gabe Witcher on the fiddle and Chris Eldridge, the mighty Chris Eldridge on the picking the guitar. So let's talk about, we've got so much to talk about with you. I don't think the hour can contain it, but let's start when you were a kid. The inspiration to start playing the banjo. How did that happen for you? What was your fuel?
Let's see. My brother was playing mandolin. He heard a bluegrass band play live at his school as part of an arts program. They had a monthly visiting band, and 1 month the bluegrass band came in, and he saw a mandolin player, and he was so inspired to pick up the mandolin. And after a few years of him playing, I got jealous and wanted to learn an instrument. So my mother suggested the banjo, and I started taking lessons. But it all really went back to that music in the schools. And I know these days that funding for the arts in schools can be a controversial matter, and I'm evidence of that.
The value of music in the schools. That's right.
Well, also, if those tax dollars hadn't been devoted towards bringing that bluegrass band in, there might be one less banjo player in the world.
Somebody else would have won the Steve Martin Prize. Let's talk about that for a minute. Now, that was a sweet deal.
It was very sweet, and I was completely blindsided by that whole event. And
if I remember right, you got was it like a phone call, or Steve called you and you didn't answer him back, or you didn't think it was him?
I got a letter in the mail. It was a FedEx package in the mail that I missed, and then I got a phone call from Steve Martin, which was an event in and of itself, saying, "Hey, did you get the package?" And I said, "No." What package? He said, "Oh, well, you need to go get that package." I said, "Oh, well, they'll redeliver tomorrow. There's going to be a long line at the depot." And he said, "You really should go wait in line and pick up that package." And so he convinced me, and I got to the post office and was quite disappointed to find that it wasn't even a package; it was just a letter. But inside contained this note explaining the award and a check, which was
a large check.
It was a normal-sized check for a large sum. Yes, but I was hoping that this next year, just to kind of liven things up, they would have gone with the huge check presentation. But
right. But you've been busy. I mean, Punch Brothers are rocking out there. You've got this album out, and there's a lot of you just was on tour with Paul Simon too. So that's Punch Brothers have been keeping you busy. We got more to talk about with you, but let's get back into the music. Your new CD is called Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail. This is a great tune called My Mother Thinks I'm a Lawyer. It's Noam Pikelny on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio. From his CD, Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail. My mother thinks I'm a lawyer. Of course, he's got in his band the mighty Mark Schatz, two-time IBMA Bass Player of the Year. And Jim Cobb, founding member of the infamous String Dusters on the mandolin. So, Noam, we talked about your brother got to see a bluegrass band in school and how great that was. That inspired you. Your mom suggested taking up the banjo. Who was the guy, who was the musician that became your sort of musical mentor by way of his records and his music and stuff?
It was probably my first teacher. I was growing up in Chicago, and as soon as I decided to learn the banjo, I started taking lessons at the Old Town School of Folk Music from a guy named Mark Dvorak, who is a wonderful banjo player, guitar player, folk singer. And he really kind of opened up my ears to the world of great folk banjo that had been going on in Chicago for years, guys like Fleming Brown and Stephen Wade. And I was mostly existing in that world. I was only playing clawhammer when I started. And eventually I was in a record store, think of that. And I was buying my brother a birthday present, and the guy selling records there said, "Hey, have you heard of Bela Fleck and the Flecktones?" And I had never heard of them. And he convinced us to buy this, the first Flecktones records, and I brought the record home, and I was just blown away. I couldn't believe these modern sounds that were coming out of the banjo, and it was so far from anything I'd ever imagined that I just couldn't believe he was playing with the same kind of three-finger pick style, Scruggs style that all the bluegrass guys were doing. And so I insisted on seeing the Flecktones live to see with my very own eyes what was going on. And so my parents took me to Navy Pier in Chicago, and I got to see the Flecktones. And there I saw Bela was using a thumb pick and two metal picks, just like Earl Scruggs, but was playing completely different music. And that's when I decided to start playing bluegrass style. Everyone said, well, if you want to one day pursue the progressive side of banjo, you got to start with the traditional music, just like Bela, just like Tony Trischka and all the kind of pioneers had of that time. And so it was the music of Bela Fleck that drew me to Earl Scruggs, but then I really got caught up in bluegrass, and the goal wasn't to be a jazz banjo player anymore.
Well, you're doing all those things very well. One of the things that you've done very well is this new album. The new album is called Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail, and we're going to invite one of the finest singers in roots music, Aoife O'Donovan, who's a member of Crooked Still, has been on the road with Noam, part of his new record. And they're going to do a song from the new album called Fishin' Bird. It's Noam Pikelny on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And they heard his tale of a world that was so far away, and a song that they'd never heard, a song of a little bird, and fell in love with a whale. He said, you cannot live in the ocean. And she said to him, you never can live in the sky. But the ocean is filled with tears, don't cry. Let me dry your eyes and tell me that you will wait for me. Hold me in your arms. I promise we never will part. And I'll never sail back to the time, but I'll always pretend that you're mine. Though I know that we both must part, you can live in my heart. Please don't cry. Let me dry your eyes and tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me in your arms. I promise we never will part. And I'll never sail back to the time, but I'll always pretend that you're mine. Though I know that we both must part, you can live in my heart.
From his CD, Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail, we're going to get back to more of the music of Noam Pikelny. We're going to meet more of his band, talk to them. And we invited an 11-year-old banjo champion to play with Noam. And we're going to visit with this young man in the second half hour. So stay where you are. We've got a lot more music to go. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Steve Martin, and you're listening to folk singer Michael Jonathan and the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
Well, how about that? Mr. Steve Martin himself, the giver of great gifts to banjo players. We are broadcasting all over the world. We're celebrating the banjo. And what we found is a young 11-year-old musician from the great state of Virginia. And what we liked about him was that he's winning the first place prize in a lot of adult banjo contests all over the place. The Deer Creek Festival, Maury River Fiddlers Convention, the Grayson County Fiddlers Convention, the Uncle Dave Macon Days, he came in second in that one. So for 11 years old, we thought, let's give this kid a try here. And he's here with his dad, Tom, and they're going to do a song from his album called Sounds from the Open Back. This is a tune called Old Dangerfield. Please welcome 11-year-old Victor Furtado to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio. From the great state of Virginia, Victor Furtado, 11 years old. How about that? So, Victor, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming. You're all of 11 years old. You're going to be 12 soon. So when did you start playing the banjo?
When I was 9 years old.
So you've only been playing for like a couple of years. How did you get so good so fast?
I practiced a lot.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, good answer. Now, why the banjo?
I just liked it.
You just plain old like now. This banjo is you're not a big guy, so this banjo is like almost as tall as you, right? I mean, the head is sitting in your lap. It's going from your thigh to your shoulder. So it wasn't too big to start when you were 9 years old.
Well, I got this just last year, so.
Yeah. So what kind of banjo did you start with?
A gold tone.
A gold tone. So and you're playing an open back, and you're doing the frailing. That was a difficult. That's a difficult hand pattern to master, and you're doing it really well. So like, how did you get yourself to be so fluid with your right hand? Practiced a lot, right? That's all. Who was your teacher?
Well, first I had an instructional video, and it was Lynn Morris, Murphy Method. Then I had Brooke Parkhurst as a teacher. Then
So
Chris.
you started with a video to learn, right?
Yeah.
So let's say hi to the dad, Tom. You must sit back. You're playing a rhythm guitar with your son, and he's only 11 years old. You must sit back and just go like, "Wow."
I do. I'm not quite proud. It's more like jealous.
Now you have a very large family, of course, and he's the youngest of like 8 or 9.
9.
Not 9 kids, and he's the youngest. So and they're homeschooled. They're homeschooled, and so what role did you play in him learning his music? I mean, does everybody in the family play something, or is he in particular a musician?
Well, they're all musical, but Victor was a little different. He was born at home as well, and the midwife didn't show up, and
that can be a problem.
Yeah, it was a problem because no one told me how slippery he was, and I dropped him on his head.
He became a banjo player, right?
I think that's why he became a banjo player.
Yeah. Doesn't say much for Noam, does it?
I was wondering if something similar happened there, but
yeah, well, I'm not going to ask him. So this is a nice father-son activity for the. Do you play home a lot, like around the kitchen table?
We go to a lot of festivals. Yeah, we play at home sometimes, but the festivals where we really get the good time in.
Well, let's get back into Victor's music, and at the end of the broadcast, he and Noam are going to battle it out together with the 2 banjos. But right now, it's young Victor. The song is "Cold, Frosty Morning." Victor Furtado on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio. 11-year-old Victor Furtado, his father Tom. You want to know more about the music of 11-year-old Victor and his tour schedule, the festivals he's performing at, as well as Noam Pikelny and his new album, their tour schedule, we encourage you to visit woodsongs.com, click on the archive page. This is show number 648. We'll tell you everything that you need to know about both artists, and let's get back into his brand new album. It's called Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail. The tune is called Boathouse. On the Lull Water, it is Noam Pikelny on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio. song is called Boathouse on the Lullwater from Noam Pikelny's brand new CD, Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail. Of course, he's on stage with great musicians, Jesse Cobb on mandolin, Chris Eldridge on guitar. And let's say hi to Gabe Witcher, the fiddle player. Gabe.
How you doing?
You're a fellow Punch brother.
Correct.
Along with Chris. So Noam is touring with the A-Team. You also produced this record, Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail.
That's right.
So
yeah.
that must have been fun for you.
It was a blast. Yeah. It was nice for once to get to sit in front of the speakers and listen.
Right.
Yeah.
Be in control.
yeah. In
to
theory.
a degree, right? Now you're also a master fiddler, and I asked you to show off your wares. You're going to give us 20 seconds of something just beautiful here. Getting the wood out. Doing good. Gabe Witcher. Now, Noam, let's talk about your album a little bit. This was not a rush job by any means. You took your time.
It was on the 7-year fast track.
It took a while to get it out. Well, it's because you were so busy. I mean, you're so much work going on.
Yeah, things have been busy over the last 5-6 years. My last album, In the Maze, came out a week before I met Chris Thiele, and I think the plan was to put out a solo record every year and a half or so, and that summer of 2004 when I met Chris and Punch Brothers started kind of forming behind this brainchild of Thiele's under this piece called "The Blind Leaving the Blind." I don't think any of us were expecting to be thrust into this kind of full-time band all of a sudden.
The CD's Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail. This is a tune called All Get Out. It's Noam Pikelny on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. From his brand new CD, Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail, Gabe Witcher on fiddle, Chris Eldridge on guitar. We got Jesse Cobb playing mandolin, the mighty Mark Schatz on bass, and wasn't it great having Aoife here singing with them? From Crooked Still, Aoife O'Donovan. Now Gabe, Noam has moved over to young Victor, is seated next to him, and of course Noam has the standard 5-string with the resonator, and Victor has an open back banjo. So Victor, you're going to be doing the old time frailing on this, right? Okay, so let's see. They are going to battle it out. You've got the Steve Martin first annual Steve Martin prize winner next to the adult champion 11-year-old boy playing, and they're going to play the banjo as though they were both dropped out of Tom's hands at birth. I think if I understand this correctly. We ready? Noam and Victor play it, Florida Blues. Wasn't it great having young Victor Furtado on the show, 11 years old, playing the banjo. And let's congratulate Noam Pikelny for all his success, his new album, Beat the Devil and Carry a Rail. You know, I think Noam really expressed it very well. You know, as a young fella, you know, his brother got inspired by what he saw happen in his school. And Victor gets inspired by how, you know, his dad is here. You know, what a beautiful family thing this music thing is. And Noam was encouraged by his brother. And then he went on to the Old Town School of Music, met a great folk singer. Mark Dvorak is a wonderful fellow and a great teacher. And what this shows is how important real three-dimensional personal human contact to inspiration. You can't get it just from radio or just from television. I know WoodSongs is all over that kind of media, but it's what happens in your home. It's what happens on your living room couch. It is the most beautiful, wonderful, passionate, the most important stage in the world is what happens in your own living room among your family. You as families inspire each other to become a Noam Pikelny or a young Victor. They're out there, it's in your own family, and what you do with that opportunity is very important. Don't waste it by just so absorbing yourself in the two-dimensional world of radio and television that you forget what the real human experience of playing an instrument, singing, being absorbed in the art as though it was a real living, breathing thing, because that is what the true essence of art is. My name is Michael Jonathan. I'm a folk singer. I am a tree hugger, and we'll see you next week on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. Good night.
You've been listening to WoodSongs broadcast number 648. Michael's opening song was Taco Bell's Pea Shooter from the Front Porch CD, featuring Scott Napier on mandolin and Paul Reich on upright bass.
Thank you for tuning in. There are so many talented artists that appear on our stage. It's very hard sometimes to pick the ones that appear on our TV broadcast. So what we're going to do is leave you with a performance from our huge online archive of past shows. We'll see you next time on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
The television broadcast of the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour is made possible in part by Kentucky Proud and the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, supporting Kentucky-grown farm products used worldwide and in your hometown. Acoustic Rainbow, introducing songs from independent artists and small labels to over 1,200 acoustic format radio stations worldwide. Online at acousticrainbow.com. Support is also provided by viewers like you. Information on how to become a WoodSongs partner and support the growth of grassroots music is online at woodsongs.com. And by Insight Communications, providers of cable, high-definition television and broadband internet service.
On the next WoodSongs, we're celebrating the banjo with 11-year-old Victor Furtado and one of the most award-winning and respected banjo players on the planet, Noam Pikelny.